Hey y'all, so I am here inside of the Senate reception room. We are right outside of the floor where Senator Cory Booker is still out there, still doing his speech. We're coming up to hour 7, I believe.
Hour 7, yeah.
We're getting there, and I'm here with Senator Chris Murphy, and I was in the gallery watching you. I like you're like, good, there were so many people up there supporting you.
We need a couple of people in person, but we got a lot of people watching us online.
A lot of people are watching you online, and something that resonated with me and that I kind of briefed my audience on, my brother unfortunately was a gun violence victim in 2017, and you were talking about the last time that you did this was in response to gun violence. Can you talk to the people about that and how that kind of ties to, because you said something very poignant on the floor today about how this was similar to the Medicaid cuts with children, how it's playing with people's lives. So,
well, listen, I'm sorry for what your family has gone through, but yes, the last time that I did a filibuster like this was 9 years ago, right after the Pulse nightclub shooting. Cory came to the floor with me, and we held the floor for 15 hours, just to try to shake the conscience of our colleagues. We had seen mass shooting after mass shooting, Congress go through this kind of scripted ritual in which everybody sent out texts or social media posts of thoughts and prayers. There was a commotion that we might do something, and then nothing happened. And I think Cory was feeling the same thing, that Republicans right now are contemplating the most devastating healthcare cut in the history of America. $880 billion in Medicaid cuts, which could throw 30 million people off of their healthcare. And it just doesn't feel like a time that you can engage in business as normal. So what he's doing is exceptional, and I'll be here with him overnight like he was there for me 9 years ago. And our hope is that maybe we'll rattle the conscience of some of our colleagues. We only need 1 or 2 of them to vote against these Medicaid cuts to stop this healthcare cataclysm. Or maybe we'll just prompt the country to learn a little bit more about what Republicans are trying to do, and maybe that will push more pressure into Republican offices to do the right thing.
I think that's an excellent point, because a lot of people are saying, okay, but what does this do exactly? Because he's not filibustering technically, because there's no bill on the floor. But I think it's important for people to understand exactly what you said. This is about trying to shake the conscience of your colleagues. People need to understand that there's a very slim majority that the GOP has. It is a majority. They are wielding a scary kind of power with it, but it's still slim. And like you said, if you can convince just a few of them to, just be reasonable, make a difference.
And we did this back in 2017. In 2017, the Republicans' #1 agenda item was to repeal the Affordable Care Act. That was 20 million people were going to lose their health insurance, and we raised a level of volume all across the country so that we did convince 3 Republican senators to vote no. Same margins this time. We just need to convince 3, maybe 4 Republican senators, 2, maybe 3 Republican House members, and we can stop a healthcare cut that will result, as I said, in millions of people losing their healthcare all across the country. And for what, by the way? It's not as if they're going to save that money and return it to the taxpayers. They're going to give a giant tax cut to the wealthy. It's the biggest transfer of wealth and resources from the poor and the middle class in these Medicaid cuts to the wealthy, in another tax giveaway to the richest amongst us that we've likely seen in the history of U.S. government.
And something that's even more disturbing about it is they like to call themselves the pro-life party, but about 40% of pregnant women in this country rely on Medicaid to give birth. They are covered by Medicaid to have prenatal care, safe births, postpartum care, and you would think that a party that is supposedly pro-life and wants these babies to live would actually provide the resources for these babies to live.
Medicaid is the difference between life and death, right? For expectant mothers, but for also the millions of disabled Americans whose only healthcare option is Medicaid. If you are severely disabled, if you are paralyzed, if you have Parkinson's disease, then your only healthcare insurance option is likely going to be Medicaid. So if Medicaid is interrupted, even for a couple of months for many Americans, that is literally the difference between life and death. That's the consequences of what we're talking about, which is why Cory has decided to do something exceptional, to sort of say, listen, it's not normal to kick so many people off of healthcare just to afford a giant tax cut for people that don't need it. So I'm going to do something that's not normal. I'm going to commandeer the Senate for 7 hours, 14 hours, 20 hours, however long it takes to try to wake people up.
And so that's what you guys have heard. We are here to support Senator Cory Booker, who is trying to stop these horrific cuts that the Republican Party is trying to make against working class Americans. We have Senator Murphy, who is here to support and like physically being here
Just be
in
there.
discomfort and out there on the floor.
Well, listen, he's a friend, so you just want to be, when your friend is doing something important that you believe in, and everybody knows this about your own life, you want to be there for your friend. So, not everything here is about politics. This is good politics, and hopefully it'll save some lives, but this is also just about supporting a friend that I believe in.
I really appreciate that.
All right.